Uniting rhythm in my home, and every vision of my soul. Just to think we don't carry on that much philosophy, and we know.
Hello everyone, I'm Blake Childress, and I'm That One Filmmaker. And right now, I'm at a wedding. I ran to the car because I didn't want to be in there, and since I won't be home for a little while, I decided, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to make a Just Saw review while I'm in the car. In today's review, I'm going to be talking about scary stories to tell in the dark.
When I look out my window, many sights to see.
Yeah, I'm a little bit late with this one because I watched it like a week ago, but it took me a while to actually figure out what I wanted to say about the movie, but let's get right into it. The button didn't press, what the fuck? Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark is based on the book series by Alan Schwartz. And actually, I was a huge fan of the original book series when I was a kid. Even though the books are almost like 30 years old, they were around in like 1981. But I was genuinely terrified of the books most of the time, mainly because the illustrations were just fucking terrifying. And just being like a 10-year-old kid reading all the shit that's in those books, it freaked me the fuck out. And after I heard that they were making a new movie with Guillermo del Toro being a producer and some, guy I've never heard of directing, I was interested. And I wanted to watch it. The movie kind of felt like, like a more edgy, grown-up, like, Goosebumps movie where, like, oh, it's based on a book that was made for children, but it had more, I guess, swear words, it had more gore, it had like a message. It wasn't like a comedy, it was just a straight horror movie. And surprisingly, for a PG-13 movie, it had some decent scary moments. There were a lot of moments that had great subtle moments with really good build-up. There were a couple of really, really shitty jump scares, but at this point, I think that's just like a horror convention that I fucking hate and wish it would die, but it's pretty much in all horror movies at this point. One thing that I didn't really like that much about the movie was the characters. A lot of people are talking about how the characters are just amazing and they're so well developed and everything, but I kind of didn't really see much of a character. The two main characters are both basically Blank Slate 1 and Blank Slate 2. And the only thing that really gave them characters was that both of them really liked, like, monsters. Like, one was super into monster movies and reading comics, and the other one was, like, kind of into it, but not really. Like, that's the thing that connects them, and that's why they fall in love or whatever. I guess the other thing about Blank Slate 2, which is the guy, is that he's a draft dodger and is trying to not go to Vietnam since he doesn't want to fight in the war, which, it's supposed to be a political message. And that's another thing that I didn't really like about the movie. I'm not saying that talking about how, draft dodging is bad during the Vietnam War. I agree, the Vietnam War was a fucking useless war that we shouldn't have been in. But it really doesn't fit in the movie. It's like, they took a break from being, the scary shit, to be like, spew some political message about shit in the 70s. And just the tone of Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark and Vietnam War just don't fit well together at all. And it just kind of feels like they should have told about something else for the character. That could just be me, because, I mean, some critics said that they thought that the whole political message with the character was great. So, maybe I'm just not seeing it or anything, but I thought it was just very out of place. All the other characters kind of felt like, just like classic supporting characters in these kinds of PG-13 movies. If I had to sum up my feelings about this movie, I'd say that it feels like a Nickelodeon movie. Like, it looks kind of cheap. The acting kind of feels cheap, where it's just a bunch of unknown actors that you'd expect to find on a TV show. And most of the characters are either underdeveloped and have no character, or their character has only one joke to them and that's it. That's pretty much how the movie felt. Just like it feels right home on, Nickelodeon or Cartoon Network. It just feels like a made-for-TV movie that they released in theaters. The only great thing I can say about the movie is that how they connected these stories together is interesting, because if you've never read the Scariest Stories to Tell in the Dark book series, all of them are actually just instructional guides that say, oh, you should scream at this part, or jump on your friend when it gets to this. It's just a bunch of stories that you're supposed to read to people, and they're not connected at all. The only thing that connects any of them is that they're supposed to be scary. So it's honestly impressive that they were able to create a story around a bunch of out of a tutorial for telling a scary story in a group of friends. And surprisingly, the story was actually made by Guillermo del Toro, which is impressive. I feel like they probably could have made it better, but I honestly think it's impressive, because it's better than the fucking Goosebumps movie's plot. Apart from all that, I don't really know if this is a great movie. I mean, I think you should go watch it and decide for yourself, because this is a very middle-of-the-road movie for me. Nothing is that great, nothing's that bad. It's just your run-of-the-mill jump scare movie with jump scares. That's kind of it. I mean, Blaine walked out of it hating it, saying, like, oh my god, it's so fucking bad. It didn't make me mad. I didn't want to, storm out and be like, oh, I wasted my money on this, because that's how Blaine felt. He genuinely said, we wasted our money on this. But I thought it wasn't that bad. It's just, it could have been better. Oh, boy.
Boy. Boy.
I give Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark a 6 out of 10. Just a quick mention, my Patreon page will be launching soon. I'm trying to figure out payment options for this page right now. I have tiers and everything ready and rewards, but I don't have a payment system implemented yet, because I'm 16, I don't have a credit card, so I'm trying to figure out how I'm actually going to do that. But when I figure out the payment, I will release the Patreon page. Or technically it's up right now. You can look up my name and you can find my account right now. But I really don't want you to do that, because your money is literally going to nowhere. So when I officially announce it, you can go support me if you want. But until then, keep watching the videos and keep liking the videos and subscribe, because we're almost to 200 subscribers, guys, and it's almost the 2nd year anniversary of Thatonefilmmaker, so I want to try and get to 200 subs before the anniversary happens. So it's like every year I'm getting a steady increase, so I feel like I'm doing something. But yeah, that's it for car review of Are You Afraid of the Dark? Oh fuck, that's not what it's called. My name is Blake Childress, and I'm Thatonefilmmaker, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye bye now. Man, and
When I look out my window, many sights to see.